for that Peace of Mind podcast, episode 2. Peace of Mind podcast, episode 2. This that Peace of Mind podcast, episode 2. Peace of Mind podcast, episode 2.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Peace of Mind. This is the podcast show where we talk about many things. We'll talk about maybe pop culture one episode, sports one episode, life topics one episode, and today is a life topic video. The topic is single parenting or just parenting in general. And for my guest for this first back episode, I did one way back 2 years ago. But I guess for this episode, my special guest is my mother, who raised me all of 26 years, going on 27 years. Been an amazing grandmother, going on 8 years now, right?
Yes, 8.
Going on 8 years. And the woman who made me the man I am today and try to help me become a better man tomorrow. So this is my mother. You want to tell me anything about you?
Hey.
She lost for words right now.
I guess it's a loss of words, however.
But even though she lost for words, she has a lot of years of experience, a lot of action behind everything she's done. She got a lot of words coming up, a lot of knowledge and wisdom she's going to tell y'all, because I feel like she is one of the best people to tell you about what it takes to be a parent, because she did an amazing job. I can't think of anything. I think she did an amazing job. So, been with RN for how many years you been RN?
24.
24 years, been RN. Amazing at that. Everyone says how great she is at that also. So, from professional level to being in the household, doing everything she need to do as a mother, she's always been on top of her game. So I'm proud to have her today and talk about
Glad to be here.
all this. Yeah. So let's get started straight to the first question. Finding out you were pregnant for the first time with my sister or with me, what were your thought process? What was your feelings? What was all that? First time and even the second time, you can do both times.
First time, when I was pregnant with Sherman, it was complete fear, of course, and it was this and let my parents down, small town, when your parents kind of have you on this pedestal and you become pregnant out of wedlock, it's just it's like I'm letting everybody down, plus I was getting ready to go to college. I just graduated, getting ready to go to college. So I knew my life was going to change, some things that I had planned, I was going to have to take a different path, So, but anyways, that was the first time around, fear, let down, for those that cared, the most about me. Second time around was that, they're going to kill me with you, it's like, okay, you done this first time, here we are, 10, 11 months later, here we are again,
Yeah.
And plus I was in college at that point. So, it was, things, my path is still changing. I had the one child, the 1-year-old, and then, I had you coming. So, it was like, okay, you really got to dig in. You got to put those heels down in the ground, and girl, you got to come out stroking. You really got to be able to provide, for these two little ones, the one that was here and the one that's on the way. You don't have any more time to waste.
Yeah. So that was pretty much what they told you. You just got to dig down there.
You got to dig, honey, you got to dig deep, pick yourself up, dig deep, and, look ahead, because, you have or will have 2 children by the time you got here that, likely perhaps going to be a single parent, which that's the way it turned out. I was a single parent, but they wanted to make sure, my parents wanted to make sure that I was able to provide for my 2 babies. And they did, they made sure that, I got that education, through by, they helped y'all, help raise y'all while I was able to go to school. So.
Yeah. So overall, you would say it was probably not as much of a letdown as you thought they were going to have, and you thought they were going to be so disappointed. You don't think it wasn't as big of a situation, like in that
it was
sense.
Big.
I mean, it was big, but I'm saying you expected more of scolding and stuff. Instead of that, they were more maybe. What you explain? What was more of?
Well, I got that scolding, especially with you.
Yeah.
Because it was the second time around. I should have known better. But the first time around, it was just a whole bunch of, disappointment and silence there for a little bit, because again, as I said, small town, I was on that pedestal. I was very, very popular, going through, junior high and high school. So that was just something totally unexpected. Even though I was grown, but it still was something totally unexpected, especially come from, and being the baby girl or the only girl and the baby at that. So, it had to be really hard on, my dad to, to accept that. But, hey, once he got past that disappointment and he realized that girl was coming, he was okay. He was on board 100. And then the same with you. Once he got past that, it wasn't disappointment at that time. I think it was madness, because again, it was that second time around. They dug their heels in deep too and did everything they could to make sure I got what I needed to, again, take care of y'all.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah. So you've had us, my sister first, then me. What moment mentally did it hit you? Wow, I'm really a mother. Like, these are my children.
First time around, probably because I went into preterm labor, I'll say. And so, it started out at 6 weeks, and then, he held her off there for about 5-6 days. So I ended up being like 5 weeks pregnant, but, lungs were underdeveloped. So again, that fear of I done made this far and I don't want to lose her, so, and then just hearing that little voice, she come out screaming bloody murder because, he had mentioned that he was going to have to perhaps fly her out because he couldn't prevent me from having her any longer because she was starting to get in trouble, in utero. So with that being said, he had to go ahead and deliver. So, it was that fear because, I was grown. However, I was barely grown. So it was that fear there. And just knowing that she was coming, she was going to be here, and that was my baby girl. And I just, that was that mama moment where I knew, hey, I got to protect, And with you, I think it's just right after I delivered, it was, because you just big fluffy, little ball here. And I was holding you, and I remember I was just holding, I was just wiping your jaw, because you got it covered up now, but you had this perfect little brown spot there. And I was like, what is that? I'm thinking it was just kind of debris, from giving birth. And I remember Ann saying, look, stop scratching that baby. Stop. You gonna scratch his face. That's a mole. That's his birthmark. And so that's probably one of my favorite spots on your face too, except for you got it covered up now with your beard. However, between that and the dimple, and both of you have it covered up now, but that was, just being there. Of course, I started dilating early with you too. So it was that fear from 6 months on, I done made to 6 months. I don't want to lose him either. I want to go full term. So, had to be kind of put on semi bed rest for the most part. There with you for 6 months, and then as I got on over closer to almost 8 months, and I really was on bed rest because I had high blood pressure, went to that what the old people call toxemia, they call it preeclampsia now. So but just holding this little ball and rubbing your face, you were here, you were mine, my baby.
She's still calling her baby too. She won't let that
I always will. Look, I'm still in the sun is baby,
yeah, I get that.
And I'm almost 50,
I get that. I understand that. So I know what parenting is, and maybe people out there right now that maybe they've already given birth, or maybe they've had their child, or just in general, maybe they're wondering, what do I have to do in my parenting? What do I have to sacrifice? What do I have to give up in order to have a successful parenting, like, adventure, career, whatever we want to say? What do I have to give up to be successful as a parent? I should say. So what were some of the sacrifices you had to give up? You would say the biggest ones, I would say, in order to make your single parenting work, and, what were some of the things you had to give up for me and my sister?
Well, sacrifice. I think we all sacrifice. Y'all sacrificed just as well as I did, because there was a ton of things that y'all wanted to do that you couldn't do because I was working, or your granddad was working, so we couldn't take you to. So, but like a lot of the, when y'all were like elementary age, the meet and greet with the teacher, right before school started for the year, I had to work. And of course I worked at night and still do. So I will miss a lot of, going to do the meet and greet, but I had, my dad step in there, he raised y'all,
Yeah, he did.
you know,
He was
you
there.
considered you his son, considered, your sister his daughter, not just grandchildren,
Yeah,
because
we call him. That's why we call him daddy, our grandfather. We call him.
So, it was a lot of sacrifice that y'all didn't have y'all mom to go do all those things with y'all, or going to, dances or just different things, that y'all didn't get a chance to do. Or like, I missed when you were playing like the little league football there, I missed a lot of those because a lot of those were on the weekend. And at that point, I was working Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
So, and that was another thing I had to do was, there was no being off on the weekend. It was, okay, you take your options. You either be at home during the week and do schoolwork and projects, or you be off on the weekend and log around, watch TV and, hang out. Well, the option for me was to work that weekend so that I'd be available to y'all. But again, I guess it really wasn't a sacrifice. It's just what we had to do, to make it work. Because, I wanted to make sure that y'all was provided for, So, to me, I guess if you want to consider that a sacrifice, it was just a way of life. It was just what had to be done as a single parent. You kind of learn to put what you want sometimes to the back burner to be a good parent. You had to put some things to the back burner to take care of your family when you're a single parent. And even if you're not a single parent, look, Ann and Sonny, husband, wife team from day one, but they still sacrifice or done without things for themselves. Like if they need a new pair of shoes, well, they'll put that behind and say, okay, well, Monica need a new pair of shoes, or Red need you see what I'm saying? And the same, that's what I did for y'all. I didn't get hair done and nails done, and I chose to put that on y'all, know. So yeah.
Oh yeah. And she did that. Like me and my sister, we stayed. I got a haircut every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
She got all type of clothes. I got all type of clothes. Had enough shoes to where I could wear a different pair of shoes almost every day of the month without having to, like I had at least a good 20, 30 pairs of shoes in high school. And that's not common for most high schools, you know what I'm saying? Most kids in general, they don't do that. So yeah, she did a lot of sacrificing in that sense. And do you think that's the most difficult part of being a single parent today, having to sacrifice your I would say bonding time, whatever, with your children to provide for them? That's the biggest thing that makes it difficult as a single parent, you would say?
Well, I guess in a sense, I guess I could say that perhaps that I didn't get a chance to do all of that because I missed so much of it because, I started working when you were 2. As a nurse, and your sister was 4 at the time. So, you was almost 3. So I missed a lot of milestones, so that was difficult being a single parent, missing so many things that, those memories I can't get back, and I know y'all don't hold grudge against me for it because you knew it was, it was what we had to do.
We understood.
You didn't have that dad around to, to help take up the slack so mama could attend these things. So, but it is what it is, and difficult. Y'all was some good kids. I didn't have to go out to school for no nonsense stuff. You were always given, whether it be in the community or if I went to the school for something, good, like if I had to go take something to the office for you, whatever. People always said that y'all were good kids. Y'all were never called in the office for no nonsense stuff.
Yeah.
Wedding fights, just, wasn't loud mouths, because again, we're not, I guess what you call big talkers. However, I didn't want y'all to be loud mouths. I didn't want you to be known as children that are known for just talking a lot and nothing good is coming out your mouth. In other words, when you spoke, you were listened to because what you said was worthy of being listened to, if that makes sense. It wasn't just a whole bunch of just nonsense coming out your mouth just to be heard sing. That's unnecessary. I guess kind of got off topic there, but however.
No, that makes sense. Like you always taught us to act like we got sense. That's the main thing y'all always told us. Act like you got sense.
Have some class about yourself.
Have some class. Act like you got sense. You know what I'm saying? Be respectful.
Yeah,
those 3 things.
For sure.
Yeah. So all that, the difficulties, the sacrifice, and everything like that. what's the most joyous parts you would say you've had of parenting? Like, gotta be some moments you like, you think back every now and then, and those are the big moments. Or
The big moments. You know what? Just watching y'all grow up, into the people that you are now. I
Yeah.
mean, you're good. You were good children. You grew up to be good teenagers and good adults, productive. You respect other people. You respect boundaries. You don't step on toes unnecessarily. You just respectful. So that brings me a lot of joy when someone tells me, hey, they're smart, young people, they are, mild mannered. That brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
That brings me a whole bunch of joy because that, to me, that tells me that, y'all were raised right. Whether through by me and the help that Ann and Sonny gave, it tells me y'all were raised right. So that brings me a lot of joy.
The fact that you successfully raised children to be adults who are respectful people
successful, you go getters, you work at what you want because nothing is given to you. You don't look around for a free handout because again, nobody's gonna give you anything.
Yeah. And also I like another thing y'all always taught us, whatever you sign up for, give it your all.
That's right.
You decide to go that way, you gotta do your job pretty much.
That's what we were taught, that even if you were sweeping the floor, if that's all you were capable of doing, then you do 100% at that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that's the way, I was raised, and then y'all were raised the same way. Give it all you got. Just don't do your job. Do it right.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, whether it be a job, school, whatever it is, give it everything that you got. So at the end of the day, you can say, when you lay down and sleep, you can say, I gave it everything I got. Even if the outcome is not exactly what you wanted, there's no reason to hang your head because you knew you gave it everything that you had. That makes sense?
Yeah. I get that. All right. So looking back at your parenting, single parenting and all that, with the help from my grandparents too. I want to mention them too, but you were still predominantly a single parent. You had to provide for us, me and my sister, yourself, and do all that. So looking back, is there anything you feel like you would have changed, done different with your parenting style? Like,
at the very beginnings, working night shift. Of course, I was young, but I slept a good bit, so. And then as y'all got on older, because, I had to get my sleep, and I worked a bunch of extra shifts so that I can provide, nursing when it's lucrative back then when I started compared to now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you had to pull some extra shift to get that extra money. Whereas now, I mean, they paying them out the gate, a whole bunch of money.
Especially now with everything.
Right, So I think I would have worked a shift or two less so that I could have been more awake sometimes. And so what I'm trying to get around to is, instead of having 20 pairs of shoes, 30 pairs of shoes, going to shop every 2 or 3 weeks, or every other week, instead of shopping, I'm pretty sure you would have preferred me being at the house a little bit more than to have 15 pairs of shoes. Let me get 10 pairs of shoes, and you be at the house a little bit more. You see what I'm saying?
I get you.
I mean, so I regret that a lot. I can't change it, but that's what I did because that's what I felt as a single parent. I was trying to overcompensate, I guess. I think that's what I did a lot.
So we wouldn't feel like we were missing out.
Right, to provide with so many things. The love was always there. Y'all know, I just, without a doubt, honey, everybody knew how in love I am. Not just love my children, in love with my children and my grandchild now. Anybody knows me knows that, but I would have changed that part of it. Other than that, I'm pretty pleased with the way everything has worked that I did with my parenting, Yeah. Hey, you got anything you want to say about my parenting?
No, I think you did a great job.
Don't hold back now.
No, I think you did a great job. I mean, I can't, and I mean, back, I think back to like high school, stuff like that. I've always been a homebody type of person. I've never been a partier type person. But I think back to it was times in high school where you were like I will stay out a little bit later than you wanted me to. And I mean, one time you got all onto me, but I look back at that now, I'm like, I needed that, because like y'all, they always told us there's nothing good late at night, especially nothing good in the dark. There's nothing out there for you. You know what I'm saying? So I look back at that now. I love that. You know what I'm saying? It's something that hopefully when I have children one day, I'm taking to my parents and stuff like I have nothing. And then as far as you working and stuff like that, me and Sherman, we understood because I feel like I don't know if it's because my grandparents kind of helped us understand, but I just never ever remember a time where I just questioned why are you working like this. I kind of understood why.
Except for on Christmas morning.
Oh yeah, I used to be mad on Christmas. She used to get home sometimes around 10 or 11.
I got home before then, son.
It was a couple times.
No, y'all was just little.
Maybe that's what it was. But we were mad. We were like, she up there talking to everybody, and we're trying to open up gifts. She up there laughing, kikiing, ha-ha with people. We were mad.
But look, see now the thing about it is, I gave y'all a Christmas Eve gift to open up, a stocking stuffer, and my stocking stuffer wasn't stocking stuffer. It wasn't candies and apples in a way. It was an actual gift. You knew that. I had the goodies inside the bag, but it's still, you had a gift along with that. So you had something to, open up before. I couldn't help it that, I chose to work Christmas Eve so that I can be out Christmas Day.
But see, we didn't think about, well, she did that. She could be out Christmas Day. We were like, no, she should be here. We supposed to open up our gifts at 6 o'clock in the morning, no later than 6. But again, it's one of those things as a child, you don't understand that, obviously. Like a child won't understand those type of things, But it was still never a feeling of she should have done this or that, We knew you were at work. We knew you were doing this. We felt like you were talking too much. But we knew you had to do what you had to do.
I might have done a little of that too. No, I usually got home pretty good.
You did pretty good. Thinking back now. Okay. So to wrap it all up, what advice do you have for single parents, new single parents that are already out there now who may feel like they're at a phase where they're struggling with their parenting? And not even just single parents. It may be just parents who are watching this and just, they're co-parenting or whatever, just in the same household. And maybe they just have questions on, parenting. Like, what advice do you have for them? Because I know someone out there who's.
I'm gonna speak from a single parent point of view, honestly. Because I really can't say too much. I mean, I can a little bit.
I mean, because honestly, the way I'm sorry to cut you off, but the way I've always looked at co-parenting and parenting in the same household, yeah, you come together for certain situations, but for the most part, children will always go to certain parents, and at that moment, you're a single parent telling them what they need to hear, what they need to know. Now, when they come to you together, or if you decide to take that to your, the other parent, then yeah. But at that moment, when that child go to you, you're doing single parent. That's how I've always looked at it. So what advice? I mean, it's all the same to me. So just what advice you have, even though you feel like it's just single parent advice, still parent advice.
The first thing you need to do is make sure that your children know that they're loved. I mean, and that they are someone.
And say it too. Tell them
they
you
are
love them.
loved, and they are someone that they matter. Their voice matters. They matter. So many kids. And stand up for your kids, man. I'm telling you, you had to go out there I used to go out there to that school now. As for if I felt like a teacher disrespected y'all in some way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It wasn't
and
often.
I know, but I'm just saying, but if I had
it was something. If it was just something.
You have to be, as a parent, you have to speak up for your kids, especially when they're little.
Yeah.
Because I'm being honest about it. Raising Black kids is challenging. Okay?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're treated different. And so with that being said, because I mean, look, I grew up in the 70s. I went to school, in the 70s, and I knew how I was treated by some of my teachers, and I was afraid to say anything to Ann and Sonny because I'm thinking, okay, I done something wrong. And I still remember some of the things that were done to me. And I wasn't a bad child, like y'all.
Yeah.
But and I harbored that stuff. And so when a particular teacher would do something or say something that wouldn't correct, and I'm not harping on teachers. I'm not, but at the same time, don't pick at a student just because. And that happens occasionally. There are great teachers out there. It's a very hard profession, such as nursing. But when you need to go to that school, don't be afraid to go and be that voice for that little child. When they parents, listen to your babies. Listen to them, because I don't feel if you have raised them right from birth on, they're not going to come and just make up a lie and just say, well, Miss So-and-so done this to me, or Miss So-and-so did that, or such hit me and they made me go to the office. No. Let's go to the school and investigate. Let's get to the bottom of it. Let them know, hey, I'm here for mine and I'm not going to let you get over, So that was the only time, if they did some stuff, like car rider lines and stuff, they would do some things. And I'll turn around and go back to that school, honey. Let's go to the principal. Let's sit down and have this meeting. So we need to talk about this, but not because y'all are bad kids. It just, you can have one teacher that try to say, oh, well, they did this or they did that, or, no. So, but being a voice for each child in any situation, listen to both sides of the story, but be that voice, and know that you'll make sure those kids know that you love them, raise them right, know, teach them about Jesus, they need to know God. Things are so bad now, I believe, because they stopped. When I was going to school, we said prayer, and I think that when they changed that, things kind of went downhill. You start hearing about all these school shootings and, just so much violence and hatred. So, and, and also we were taught that, you love everybody, and that's what you need to teach your children. Don't turn your nose up at someone because, they're in a different financial status, or you got a little more than them. It didn't matter. At the end of the day, when we're cut, we all bleed red. You know what I mean? And so, and God, He created each and every one of us. So, and just be nice, because you know what, and to speak, because it didn't hurt to say, hey, how you doing? Because that might be all that somebody needs that day. It's just to know that somebody to speak to, oh, you spoke to me. So, it brightens a day, and just to whatever they want in life, just to teach your children, they have got to work hard at it, because nothing is given. Because here's the thing, I want this. I can remember when I was in high school, I wanted to be a majorette, and I fought very hard to get that spot, and I did get that last spot, when I was in high school. I think from the time I was a junior on, I was with the color guard. I was a flag girl like my 10th grade year, and I didn't want to do that, because I wanted to be one of the skinny girls in the front with, with the little bathing suit on, sparkly suit, and which I was for 2 years, and very cute, might I add. That's how y'all got here. But
if you find a picture, I'll throw it up. I don't even know.
I don't know what I did though when the house caught on fire. I don't know what.
Even after that though, if it's probably one of those.
Yeah, I'm sure it's somewhere put up. But anyways, I fought to get that position. I wanted that last. I did my very best because, it was a couple other girls wanted to, but I won out. So again, you have to work hard. You have to work harder than the next person to succeed sometimes. You got to prove yourself. So work hard, because somebody else wants that same thing that you're after. Somebody else is wanting it too. So, and respect. Respect yourself, because if you don't respect yourself, you can't, nobody else is gonna respect you. You gotta respect yourself. You gotta respect the other people, and, in order to be respected, respect yourself. Just don't go out there and just do crazy stuff and expect somebody to look up to you, because it ain't gonna happen. It just, I can't look up to somebody that's doing a lot of nonsense stuff.
Yeah.
I guess that's about it.
Sound like you covered everything.
I feel I ramble, so I'm pretty sure I could add
That's
some
good
more.
because that gives us more time. That's what we need. We need.
But I mean, the
But
more
at
on
least
here
30
y'all will
minutes.
see, I ramble more and more.
We're almost 30 minutes now, so keep talking.
So and just enforce being parents, sometimes you got to put yourself on that back burner, that's just the way it is. You have to take, just the me out of it and say it's my children, you got children, a child or two children or three children, whatever, it's we as a family, so it's no longer me. I did learn that after I had the first one. It was no longer me anymore. It was, everything I did, every decision that I made, it had to be based on the fact that I had children.
Yeah.
Had to be based on that. And then let's see. Also, speaking as an African American, I had to, we teach our children that we have rights.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we do have rights as everybody else. But at the end of the day, I want you to be alive. So, and I had to teach my black man, teach you different than Sherman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you're stopped by the cops, you have rights. But at the end of the day, I want you to be alive. So don't resist. Don't even act like you're resisting because they want any reason to harm you anyways. So, you have to, I want you to be alive at the end of the day. So, teach your children that, about what to do and how to react if they're stopped, what to do in situations.
I was looking at a podcast yesterday. It's two comedians that I look at on YouTube and stuff like that. They got a podcast called Justice League. One comedian name is Doughboy and the other one name is Clayton Thomas. And Clayton Thomas said that his mother told him, I never heard this before, but I was like, I like that. I'm gonna use that. And he was like, his mother told him, just be honest, he was like, as far as black people, the difference between black people and, other races, particularly white people, that he said black people, they give us laws. As for them, they give them rules. Mm-hmm. Rules, tap on the hand, go to the corner. Mm-hmm. Laws, you doing time, you get big consequences. That's the difference between them. Mm-hmm. So, it's usually we receive harsher punishment, if not death. So, you're right about that. So.
Yeah. And, a lot of times, you out there in this open field with a dirty, officer, they're just not trustworthy, some of them. There are good ones, and, you hate to put the bad apple in the bag with the good apples, but at the same time, you never know who's going to roll up on you. You don't know if it's going to be a good one or a bad one. I'm not dashing the thin blue line. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that as a African-American woman, African Americans, period, we have a different fear when it comes to our children. Like I told this lady at work, I had told about, we had sons, at the same age, and I told her, the same thing I just said, we had to teach them that, you have rights, but when it comes to the law, when you're stopped by the cops, your son and my son are going to be treated differently depending on who stopped them.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she hadn't thought about it, and she talked to her fiance at the time, who's a lawyer, and he says, I can see her point. Yeah. After all this stuff that's going on TV, this been a couple years ago, and I mentioned that to her. Was talking one night at work, and he said he could see my point. He clearly could see how we felt.
What race are they? White?
Yeah, they're Caucasian. And another girl I was talking to just probably maybe 6 months ago, and we were speaking, she was, talking about defund the police. I don't agree with that because here at the end of the day,
we still need
somebody's
police,
breaking
y'all.
in my house.
I'm not calling
to come here.
I'm not calling Tuki, TT, right. My cousin them. I ain't calling them. I'm calling 911.
Come help me. So I don't agree with that. Yeah. I do believe that they do need sensitivity training. And I do believe that there need to be a national database, data, whatever,
something to keep them accountable.
Something that keep them accountable. And if you have been, cited multiple times, or if it's been claims multiple times on the same person, that needs to be put into a national database so that, hey, this needs to be watched, because likely they either gonna kill somebody or they gonna you see what I'm saying? I mean, look at George Floyd. I'm just being honest about it. There has to be a way. And like I was telling that girl, about 6 months ago, she was saying she had a friend that's an officer and he's gonna quit and blah blah. Girl, you know what? If that's what he think he needs to do, but I don't agree with defunding the police. I don't agree with that. However,
I don't think that.
I feel like they need to be put on national database because the dirty ones need to be weeded out. They don't never need to be working in law enforcement because of those. We're not animals.
No.
We bleed red just like them, and
the DNA is very much the same.
Right. Yeah.
Very
and
much
so I was saying something to lead up. Oh, and we was talking. And she was saying, I told her, I said, you don't live in the same fear that I live in. And she says, well, yes, I do. Because, I said, look, when you lay down at nighttime, I said, your boys are babies now. I said, but when they are teenagers, when they are young men, I said, you do not have the same fear that I have as a Black woman. You do not. You will never. I said, your skin is not brown. We are treated different. And until you live in that skin, you'll never know the feeling that a Black person has. Never.
Yeah. Well, they got it right there. They got it right there, y'all. That was good. We'll end it on that note. That's a good note to end it on, And anything else you want to tell them,
More to come.
More to come.
I'm enjoying this. And so, being here with my son, it's, just enjoying that one-on-one time with him. Occasionally we be in the car riding, talking back and forth. We bounce a couple ideas off each other, and, I'm his biggest fan, his biggest cheerleader, and I just want y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and share, get your friends on board with him. I mean, he has a lot of information, a lot of knowledge in that head, good person. Come on back.
Yeah,
come listen.
Yeah.
Come listen to him.
Yeah, it's a good time over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll make you feel like family because you are family.
Yeah.
And I
show raised,
I show my love and appreciation because you don't have to sit here and look at anything I do. Yeah. Not 1 second, not 1 minute of it. But if you do that, I appreciate you and I thank you for it, because I know everyone has busy, schedules. Everyone has life. For you to take time out your life to watch anything I put up on this channel, I appreciate you and I love you for that. So.
And I love you for loving him.
We all love you. It's love over here. So
exactly.
Join the family if you want to be loved over here. And that's it for this episode of Peace of Mind. I thank you, all of you, for watching this. I thank my mom for
thank you for having me.
Being my special guest. Oh yeah, she'll be back. I have her, multiple guests. Sure. It may be some episodes I do it solo, but I would love to have guests every single time. So I'm trying to find a way to always have a guest on here with me. And this was fun. I really enjoyed it. And informative more than anything. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create something informative for you guys. And I hope this was that for you. And if it was, like she said, go ahead and like it. Subscribe if you're new. It's your first time seeing anything I do. I know I do a lot of reactions on this channel, but you're going to be seeing this as well as other content that I have in the works on this channel. So subscribe for that and hit that notification bell because sometimes you won't be notified unless you hit that notification bell. That's it for this episode of Peace of Mind. It's been my peace of mind, mostly hers, you know what I'm saying? Because we want to pick her brain on this episode. And I was proud to do that. So again, thank you.
You're welcome.
With this. And until next time, keep the love, keep the peace, stay safe, stay blessed. My kinfolks and I love you. We out.